G'day folks, Gary from Platform 1 MRC. Glad you could join me again. Well, it's been 4 weeks since the last layout update, and I'm going to show you what I've been up to. Now, I did say that I had a few modules to build, and all up there were 3 of them. Now, if you follow me on HO Scale Shelf Modelers, Platform 1 MRC, Micro, Small Model Railway layouts, and a bunch of others, you would know that some of these modules have been built, have been wired up, and I did manage to get a train running through the layout just the other night. That would have been Saturday night. So what I'm going to do, we're going to move the camera, we're going to have a look at the modules and a few of the changes that I put into place. If you recall, I talked about reusing the ferrous processing building, the shed that I scratch built, which used to be on the corner module in the layout's previous iteration. Now I've decided to change that, and there's going to be 1 or 2 other changes here well, it's a question that Peter T. Zeka asked me on micro and small model railroad layouts about what I will be doing on a particular module. So I'm going to be answering that too. Anyway, let's take a look at this module on the left, then we'll have a look at the corner module behind me, and also the one just over here on the back wall to the right. So here we have the interconnecting module. This module replaces the old corner module that had ferrous processing sitting on it. Originally my intention was to sit ferrous processing where the boxcar and this mock-up building is sitting through here. Now it would have went from this point down here to approximately this point here where I've got my poker or paintbrush. The only problem with that would have made this S-curve or this track realignment a little bit too tight in the radius, and it didn't look prototypical enough. I wanted it to look more prototypical than toy train set like. So what I ended up doing was jumping onto Google Maps, and I found this area here, which is between Northwest 23rd Street and Northwest 22nd Street, just below Northwest 15th Avenue. Here's a photo of the prototype. As you can see from that prototype, it had this nice lazy S-curve through here, and it also had tropical pallets, which this will become over here rather than ferrous processing. Now the difference between the prototype and what I'm modelling is that the siding for tropical pallets would have come in off the line here and truncated about here. I've just reversed that because I've got to use the existing baseboards that I have. The siding over to the right here is a siding which is a little bit further up the line towards the west, and it feeds into Paradise Foods. Now that's basically how it is. It's on a slight angle like this and disappears into the corner of a building. Now, I won't be naming this Paradise Foods. I may name it Paradise Foods. I haven't decided on yet. So basically what this gives me, this little 4-foot module here, is 2 industries to switch out. And the idea of these cardboard mock-ups here is to create a good scene of what it's going to look like. And I do like the look of the train entering the scene down the bottom here and winding its way between all these buildings onto the module in the foreground. I'm going to move the camera and we're going to have a look at the corner module next, and I'll talk about that. Okay, onto the corner module. What do we got here? Well, this is the old tapered siding that I had on the previous iteration where Salco used to sit up through here. Now Salco won't be used. I'm not going to be pulling any buildings off the other modules to reuse here because I do need the other modules for the exhibition coming up. So what have I done? As you can see, I've laid in a point there, 2 sidings up the back. What used to be the runaround or the loop road is now coming down to a single point here onto what I call the back wall module. So industries on here. Now I'm going to show you a couple of photos of what I've got planned. The back industry will be Dixie Plywood and Lumber, and Dixie Plywood and Lumber is actually on the corner of Northwest 37th Avenue and Northwest 62nd Street in Miami. Now that is a rather large warehouse over there. In a matter of fact, it'd probably be 3 or 4 times that length there. But shortening things down, I think that would give me a good option to run maybe a tank car in there, bring in the large 60-footer box cars or bulkhead flat car in through there. So the industry there, 3 types of cars, it'll be fun to operate. Now, where these tank cars are sitting, I'm in two minds about that. Basically what I've done there is done a mock-up of Sentry Industries. Now Sentry Industries, which I'll show you a photo of now. And Sentry Industries is located on Northwest 36th Avenue. Now what do? Sentry Industries make a few types of acids like hydrochloric acid, or what you call in the States muriatic acid, you know, for the building industry, cleaning brickwork, cleaning other stuff and what have you. So that is one option. The other option, which I'll show you a photo of now, and this is Asami Foods and Vision Candles. Now that's located on Northwest 36th Avenue and Northwest 74th Street. There's a couple of smaller industries along the siding there. Now I'm sure I could fit, you know, one in through here and say Vision Candles down the bottom here, which wouldn't be too bad. That gives me 2 industries to switch out. Asami Foods, you could be coming in with reefers, you could be going out with boxcars or what have you. So that gives me an option there. Vision Candles mainly gets tank cars in, which means if I went in Vision Candles, I wouldn't really have to buy any acid tank cars. I could just operate with a couple of these tank cars here, ACFX and NCTX cars, I guess. I still really need to look at the pictures and see what type of tank cars they got to be more specific. So I've got 2 options for this. It will create a bit of operation in this corner, which I'm quite happy with, whichever way I go. But definitely Dixie Plywood in the corner and one of the 2 other industries over here. Yet to be decided. Alright, let's move on to the last panel, and this panel here will answer Peter's question on what I'm going to model there. Last but not least, the rear wall module. Now you probably guessed it by looking at these cardboard mock-ups that it isn't going to be ferrous processing. I'm going to keep ferrous processing onto the original corner module, and as I said before, that will be part of the layout that's going down to Goulburn in September. So what you see going to be built here isn't part of the layout that's going to be set up in Goulburn. This is strictly for my garage. So I'll post up a photo of this area, although it's taken, the prototype photo I should say, is taken from the opposite end where it actually comes into Trujillo and Sons. So basically it's another big food industry, one of their #1 clients on the downtown Spur, and I thought, well, that could be good for the layout. What I noticed in some of the aerial photographs and all that, the industry takes hoppers. So here we've got one of the air slides there, but I could also put in one of the bulk hoppers in there for grains and what have you. And also box cars, reefers. Straight away, it's another industry that will boost switching on the layout. Looking at the prototype photographs, it looks like most of the industry for the delivery is in on one side, and then they use the Spur on this side here, on your right hand side, for storage and what have you, so they can switch cars in and out. So you can imagine if you need to get out the hopper or the air slide from this end, you're going to have to move anything from here back into this siding to drag him out, then reposition. So that's going to be interesting. So that's my plan for the future on this module. Now if you're asking about how I constructed the modules, you can take a look at some of my previous videos where it shows how I put all these modules together and how I do the wiring. I'll add a link below, and that can take you straight to those particular episodes on building the Miami Downtown Spur. So there we have it, folks. Thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I know I said I'd probably be back a lot sooner, but I have had a few busy weekends of late. So, you know, the other weekend I was out at Justin Mitchell's beautiful layout in the city, which is the Surfline layout. And then just on the weekend that's just passed, helping the NMRA down at the Rosehill, or the Great Model Train Show here in Sydney, which was the biggest and brightest model train event that we have in the state. It's one of the best ones. I've exhibited there in the past, and it was great to be there with the NMRA, helping them out. In there for a couple of hours, plus I got to catch up with all the other exhibitors, modelers and friends. Looking forward to next year's exhibition, and once this is done, or I may even take back the layout in its original iteration to Rosehill next year. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that's it for the month. Onwards and upwards, as they say. Until then, you know what I'm going to say. Take care, stay safe, and keep on modelling. Cheers, Gary.